Hey, welcome to the Rio Grand Budapest Hotel.
No, it's the Battle Royale with Cheese Hotel.
Well, either way, you have your option to stay on either the California side,
Or you can stay with me in Sin City on the Vegas side.
so grab your shotgun and your roofies,
Or your crowbar and the rest of your accoutrement.
and come on down to the Hotel Artemis. A rip-roaring ride of a story full of intrigue, secrets, murder, cult fandom, race, religion, historical fun facts, pulp mystery, betrayal, cowards, heroes, mayhem, and drama. Bad Times at the Overlook Hotel is a contradiction in title, for it's an amazing experience at best and an ultra-realistic look at America 40 years ago and how it echoes truisms in today's social climate at its worst. This is a solely original passion piece of cinema from Drew Goddard, and it will certainly be talked about amongst cinema drunks for the rest of the cinematic year.
You probably don't know what you're getting into with this movie, and that's a good thing. I really enjoyed this movie as a mystery. I think it did a really good job with its initial setup to really engage me and pull me along for most of its running time. A lot of really interesting characters that you want to learn a lot more about. Some really great performances along the way. This was a solid movie. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun and a really well done script, I think, that really stood out.
Yeah, me too. And I love the separation of us right here from California hippie surfers to the the church of Las Vegas casinos.
You like the separation of church and state of California.
I loved Midnight in the Garden at Safari Motel. It was an awesome movie. From what you see in the trailer, it does just kind of feel like it's going to be some dark comedy with interesting characters and with a mystery going on in a hotel. And that's part of it. But there's more interesting filmmaking going on in this movie, I think, and things to think about and themes, more so than just kind of a pulpy fun time. And that's one of the things I didn't know if it was a knock or if it was something I loved about how the movie starts and shifts. Not necessarily in tone, but in mood and in going from more of like a pulpy dark comedy to like sort of a scary dramatic movie.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I think we both kind of agreed there's elements of the third act and characters involved in the third act that kind of not ruin the movie, but
Hey,
certainly
are you talking about me?
great characters in the movie that I was just so engaged in.
John Hamm.
Yes.
So awesome.
John
in this
Hamm.
movie.
I mean, his first 20 minutes that he's in the movie, every single line of dialogue he delivers had me cracking up. He
Yeah.
was just nailing the comedy at the beginning of the movie, I think. And then his character is one of the ones you're super engaged in and follow, throughout the film. Also, Jeff Bridges' character, who plays the priest, but maybe he's not really a priest.
He is
Again,
so
part of the mystery.
fucking good, man.
He is so good.
Like
yeah.
when he breaks down and you find out what mentally and physically is wrong with him, it is
not just a bump on the head.
It is just he is such a master. He's just a master. Like those scenes, like he, because he also is sold on this script as like sort of the quirkiness of it, but he on just like the drop of a dime, he just breaks down.
Yeah, no, I was reminded of just how good of an actor. I mean, not like you need to be reminded how good Jeff Bridges is. And there's other performers in the film that I think stand out just as strong in a dramatic sense. The woman who plays the...
Cynthia Erivo.
I was blown away by her performance.
Me
I think
too.
She really stood out. I really like what they do with her character and what it means to the story.
I think her character means so much more than I originally thought when I walked out of the movie, when I thought about it later, because of what I think the movie is trying to say and how it echoes and mirrors a lot of things going on today. She represents so much. There's moments in this movie where everyone in this cast, it's a revolving door. Like everyone in this cast eventually, to us the viewer, feels like the villain in a horror movie, and they scare the hell out of you in certain scenes, and then later on, it all kind of comes. Everyone kind of gets their own, but everyone also has this moment to be the one that everyone's kind of fearing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. That stood out to me as well. And
Hey,
we don't
who are you
want-
trying to talk about, man?
Well, let's just say he's got toned abs in the film.
Thor's not very good in this movie, but it's not really his fault.
No, I don't think
He's
so.
fine. He's struggling to have a California accent.
Why are you him so early?
I skipped Wilshire and took Beverly over to Santa Monica and took that all.
He does okay. I just think that the role is strange.
It's a strange role, and sure he sells the look of the role, but I don't believe what's supposed to be behind the eyes and the motivation of the role.
He's not in a lot of the movie, but when he's in it, it almost feels a little too much.
Yeah,
when he shows up.
exactly.
And again, not because of his line delivery, just because it's just this kind of injected character in something that's already going so well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and it's kind of monkey wrench effect a little bit.
Yep.
This would be like nearly perfect.
Yes. I think there's certain story threads that are discussed. They're not supposed to be subplots, but they are brought up that don't have a payoff, or that I don't feel everything in this movie has proper conclusions. Now, maybe not every movie has to have everything tied up in a nice, neat bow, but there were things that I was interested in early enough in the film that I wanted to kind of know more about that I never learned about by the end. I was really impressed with this because I don't think I remember anything about, being impressed by Cabin in the Woods on a filmmaking level. This one, the camera work, the lighting, the cinematography, the production design, the look of the actual hotel, the lobby of the hotel and all the various rooms.
Yeah.
Even just the inner workings of the hotel when you start to see kind of behind the scenes of what really goes on at this hotel sometimes.
The hotel is a character.
The hotel is a character, and they do such a good job with that.
Such a cool looking set. Like, I think it's a fictional hotel.
Oh, it's gotta be.
And it's just, it's made up. It has all this mythology behind it, and, no one stays there anymore, and it's like, why?
I feel like the theme in this film has a lot to do with choices. You can choose which side you want to be on. You can choose to be good. You can choose to be bad. You can choose heaven. You can choose hell.
Yeah.
God or no God. There's a lot of discussion about the choices you make and the freedom to make the choices.
It is about choices, and that's the perfect line, and that's how the movie opens up.
Yeah,
It shows you those two sides. And it shows you who's on... The first two characters it shows you is who's on one side and who's on the other, and I love that interaction where they don't know if they should step over, and they're like, hey, how's it over there in California? It's a great little moment.
Great dialogue in this movie.
Great dialogue. Well-written script, for sure.
Well-written script.
Yeah.
And the thing that surprised me was how deep they get with some of these characters, that you really have some fleshed out characters pretty much with every... Well, I think when it comes to Hemsworth and some of the people that surround his storyline, they're not as fleshed out. The guy who runs the hotel, he was one of the most interesting characters of the movie, and I was not expecting him.
I was expecting him to just have one or two scenes.
And even his performance, how dramatic his performance can get at times.
That's another thing about this movie, is it makes you think it's going in one direction, and it completely goes in another one. You don't know where this movie's going. You see this lobby boy guy, and he's disposable. If this is a murder mystery, they're going to find him dead, and but instead it does something to someone else who you totally don't expect. You said Marion Crane, you just don't expect it coming. You do not see it coming. And then the people who surprise you, everyone surprised you. The fact that this movie chooses to tell the first half of the story in a nonlinear structure, and then it doesn't really need to. It kind of, not so much nonlinear, but in segments.
It's kind of vignetted.
It's vignetted, but they do overlap in time, so technically it's nonlinear. It's such a great way to tell this story, and I kind of saw it coming. I was like, okay, that's probably what they're going to do, to place people in certain scenarios. And it's got a little Back to the Future 2 effect, where you kind of see the same thing from different perspectives.
I think he took your wallet. I think he took his wallet.
I feel, because this movie has so much symbolism and so many themes going on, that I really feel that scene, after I watched it, I was like, wow, because this movie's in the 60s. It just represents kind of what social media is to us. As he's looking through different displays, he's seeing different classes of people. He's seeing different stages of where they are in their lives. And obviously, because the movie's wild and crazy and fun, there's all kinds of crazy shit in every one of these displays. But in that scene, it's fucking perfect. It's a perfectly shot scene.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. It's tension filled. It's funny at times. You learn a lot about all the characters without dialogue. Really, without any dialogue within that scene. One of the people is a singer. We've said this is a lounge singer. So she's rehearsing. She's singing a cappella, and you can hear her voice playing through these dark corridors. And it's just very haunting, the effect that they do, which is great. This movie, I think, has it's a nice October release because I think it plays well as a mystery. It has its haunting element.
Totally.
It's not a horror movie, but it has elements that really play into the horror genre.
It's got shots that are really horror movie looking.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. So I loved that aspect of this, that haunting element of the music. And even other scenes of the movie where they're like in the lobby and they're using the jukebox and playing songs. They do really great musical selections, and even the way that the music sounds within those scenes and kind of the imagery you're seeing.
The jukebox is used as imagery for a lot of transitions, and it's fucking seamless. It's completely seamless. That's even what he's using the jukebox for, as it's this really hard punch of how an old jukebox used to pull out a 45 and kind of slap it into place, like right on the needle. It takes a good editor to feel the subtlety of every single scene and know, like, do I bring it in fast? Is it kind of a soft, slow transition where I'm bringing the jukebox in? And even as tension's being racked up, we go back to that jukebox here and there. It was fucking perfect.
The use of like the neon sign of the Battle Royale Hotel sign looks great.
I love the sign of the Overlook Hotel. It's amazing. The underlining story and theme of the movie, like you said, it is about choices. And the biggest choice that every individual that would know anything about this hotel and the underbelly of it, the biggest decision they'd have to make, we can't say because it's a spoiler, but it does make you think. It makes you think, if I could take an invisible serum, would I do creepy shit? Would I? Though I do think the third act is not as good as the rest of the movie, I do like the fact that it threw a curveball in there. And though I did find my own character slightly obnoxious and kind of weighing down a little bit of the film as it was I just wanted to wrap up a little bit stronger, but it's so strong. It's so original. This is not a fucking book. This isn't a comic book. This isn't a video game. This is fucking a great script about just something interesting and thought-provoking. I gotta go high, but not as high as I wanted to. I'm gonna go 8.25 gulps for me.
I just love so many aspects of this movie. The big kind of letdown is some of the third act decisions and how it plays out to some degree in the third act, but there's a lot of things in that third act where it veers into drama that I really enjoyed, where it wraps up a couple of the main characters that I was really fascinated with, and I really enjoy the performances that wrap up their stories. So my score for Rio Grande Budapest Hotel is going to be a 7.25.
That's a good score there, Father. So by the end of this review, honestly, what side would you rather? Would you be over here on the California side? Are you happy on that side?
To me, California is heaven, so I'd prefer to be on that side. You, the sinner, as I can tell, can come on over here to the Sin City side.
All right, I'm liking it over here. Yeah. So anyway, that was our review of Fast Times at the Overlook Hotel.
Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see our latest videos.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are growing, so join the club.
Look for us under Cinema Gulp.
Till next time, this is Ben.
And this is Father John. We roofie your cinema.
I drink it up!
If it stops, I'm having an unshakable nightmare.